Welcome to Biology My Passion. I am Soumya Harikrishna. We are learning the chapter Human Reproduction and we are reaching the final lesson of this chapter, that is parturition and lactation. So what is parturition? Parturition is the expulsion of the fully developed fetus or baby at the end or the completion of the gestation period. That means once the baby completes its gestation period in the mother's womb, that is around 280 days, that means 9 months plus or minus 10 days. So this gestation period is calculated from the first day of the last menstrual cycle of the mother, because we know that after that menstrual phase only her ovulation came in the mid of the cycle, and during the ovulation period this fertilization must have happened. So that means after 2 weeks of that particular day we are calculating the baby was conceived, but still we calculate it from the first day of the last menstrual cycle of the mother. Once the development is complete, the baby has to come out of the mother's womb, that is called a parturition. So parturition is a neuroendocrine mechanism, means it's a collection of some neural signals and in response to that secretion of certain hormones. So together the neural signals and the hormones will help in this process. So how is it happening? So once the baby is fully developed in the fetus, the fully developed fetus along with the placenta will send some signals. But usually children write, where is the signal arise? Usually children write it is from the placenta, but not only placenta, it is a collaborative effort, that is from the fully developed fetus as well as placenta the signals originate. Okay, so these signals will initiate certain contractions in the uterine wall. We learn uterus has got 3 walls: outer perimetrium, which is the covering, then the middle myometrium, which is the muscular wall, and then the endometrium. So whatever changes happening in endometrium during menstrual cycle and implantation, everything we learn. Now it is the role of the myometrium to undergo vigorous contraction to push the baby out. So the signals from the fully developed fetus and the placenta will start some mild contractions in the myometrium of the uterus. This is called a fetal ejection reflex. This will stimulate the pituitary of mother. As a result, mother's pituitary will secrete a hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin is known as the birth hormone. So this oxytocin will act on the myometrium and make the contraction more vigorous, because already mild contraction started with the signals, but now with the help of oxytocin it is becoming all the more vigorous. But once it is more vigorous, more signals will go to the pituitary. When more signals reach pituitary, that will secrete more oxytocin. More oxytocin, more vigorous contraction. More signals, more oxytocin, even vigorous contraction. The contractions become stronger and stronger. At the end, the baby will come out through the birth canal. Birth canal is the cervix and the vagina together called a birth canal. So once the baby comes out, that is called a parturition. Actually, it has got 3 stages, because for the baby to come out, the cervix should relax. So there is a hormone called a relaxin secreted by the placenta and the ovary. In the NCERT, ovary is mentioned, but placenta also secretes relaxin. But relaxin is a hormone secreted only at the end of the gestation period or at the time of delivery. So this relaxin, as the name indicates, it will relax the cervical region. As a result, cervix will dilate, allowing the baby to come out. So followed by that expulsion, means the baby comes out. But once the baby comes out, the placenta also will come out. That is called the phase of deciduous. Means the placenta is turning into a structure called a deciduous, because deciduous trees and all you learn in social science, right? Deciduous forest where they shed the leaves at a particular season, the autumn season. The same way here also deciduous means a shedding. So placenta also will come out of after the delivery. So that is called a afterbirth. So thus parturition is over. So there is a question in the textbook: which hormone is injected by the doctors to induce pregnancy in the absence of labor, even after the full term completion of the fetal development? It is pitocin, which is similar to oxytocin. Let's see lactation now. Production of milk in the mammary gland followed by the birth of the child is called a lactation. So lactation is actually induced by a hormone called a prolactin. Prolactin will help in the secretion of the milk within the 24 hours of birth of the child, because milk is produced for the baby to feed on. But for the milk to come out, another hormone is required, oxytocin. So these are the two hormones playing important role in lactation. Prolactin for the secretion of milk from the mammary glands, whereas oxytocin is for letting down of milk or coming out of the milk from the mammary gland through the lactiferous duct. Actually, when the baby is sucking the milk, it produces a suckling stimulation to the mother, which will stimulate the more secretion of oxytocin so that the baby can get enough amount of milk for its requirement. Now, what is the composition of milk? Milk consists of mainly proteins, then fats, sugars, vitamins, minerals and salt and water. But initial days of parturition, the mother secretes a very thin and yellowish color secretion. That is called a foremilk, or it is otherwise called a colostrum. See, colostrum is not having consistency like milk, but it is very important for the survival of the baby, because colostrum contains rich amount of protein, low amount of fat, but a lot of antibodies are transferred from the body of mother to the child, which will enable the child to resist the infections in the earlier stages of life. And as long as this feeding is happening or oxytocin secretion happening, which will keep the LH secretion low and thereby preventing the other effect of LH and FSH, and it will prevent menstrual cycle, which in turn is acting as a method of contraception, natural method of contraception called a lactational amenorrhea, LAMVC. Being natural, it doesn't have side effects, but reliability is also not very high. So these are the main points that you have to learn in this chapter. I have already released a video on the multiple choice questions on this chapter and important questions. So please go through that. I will give the link in the description below. Hope you understood what I taught today. If you like my videos, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, Biology My Passion. Thank you for watching.